Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti and William Ailey from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. Where you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, we are happy to be here with you. It's holiday in Mexico, so I am here on a holiday day working. But I am really happy. We have been working in the last
months.
3 months, maybe 3 months or something.
At least
like
3
that.
months, maybe 4 or 5, with both of us being out from time to time.
Talking about this, what is the masculine and feminine energy, why we are not connecting that to the gender base, but really talking about as an energy, and what is the difference of talking on one thing and the other. So we keep being outside of the world of roles, of gender roles. We are not talking about that at all in these programs. We are talking about things that normally has been called as masculine or feminine energies. Maybe we even don't talk about them as energies, but they are energies. And today there is several titles that we planned for this program. At the end, we put redefining masculine and feminine. But another one that was very powerful was talking about beyond labels. And that's exactly what happens when we start to have problems with these different things. It's like, okay, what is the label that you have? Like, the label is that supposedly a person has to be like this because he's a man and that's the reason he has to be behaving like this, or a woman is supposed to do things like this, or it's expected that this person do it this way, and that's why that is her label. That is maybe the reason we are talking about all of this. It's like how we can start to extract that label that we put because of society, because we were born and grown in a culture that is this way, or another thing, like simple things like we get it like that and we didn't understand why we get it, and we learned like that, and everybody was doing it, and we thought that that was the way to do it. So
that's the way it's been done for the last 500 years. Why change it?
Exactly. Or 1,000 years. I don't know how many years, but for a long time. So the first part is to start to connect with. We have some metaphor that was really, really good at this. Do you want to go with that, William?
I think it's a good one to start off with, because I really like the visual of the difference between the oak and the willow, and in terms of trees, and one breaks if you push it and the other one just moves. And going with the idea, it's not an either or world, it's a both and. So as humans, we can have the strength of the oak and the flexibility of the willow. It's the essence of redefining everything that's going on. I mean, it's especially moving into a both and world. We don't have to worry about, do I have to be strong in this situation and not flexible? Should I be flexible and not strong? So forth and so on. There was an example that just flashed through, and so fast I couldn't catch it, but it's just a matter of the courage to be strong and not know an answer at the same time.
So for today, we plan 5 different examples of why we are talking about redefining energies and how that can apply to you. it's in different environments. So the first one is in the workplace. So, for example, a male executive. Traditionally, we are going to say that is expected, and this is the key here, the expected word. Is expected to be assertive and unemotional. And I remember that clearly when I started to my corporate ladder, like everything that I was doing in the corporate, it's like, okay, you can hear the stories from people because that is going to be help you to become emotional, and you don't have to be emotional at business. That's maybe one of the first things that my boss told me when I started that race of growing in the corporate. It's like you don't have to hear the stories of people because that can become a liability, and we don't want to have a liability. So we have to be assertive and unemotional. So that's the first example. The redefinition that we are planning here is when the male executive or an executive lives with a balance of assertive decision making and emotional intelligence. And I know that this word is like more common now, but in the past was like, even when I am telling you about this story, emotional intelligence was not something that, at least in the world that I was living, was something that we could hear. But when you are leading with this balance between assertive decision making and emotional intelligence, you start to create an environment where you are valuing two things: the results, but also the well-being from your employees and the people that is working with you, or from your team, or from that part. So that's where the redefining comes. It's like it's not to be unemotional. Bring emotional intelligence, and that start to connect everything.
It does, because when people know we care, um, then they're willing to. That's one of the definitions of being able to go through hell and back for their leader, because they know their leader cares about them as people,
Exactly.
kind of thing. And so then we can move on to relationships. I mean, the traditional version of this is that a woman is expected to be nurturing and accommodating. Yeehaw. And I mean, this is feminine energy. It's nurturing, it's accommodating, and that kind of stuff. And um, the whole thing of moving into the redefinition here, it's like the nurturing and the caring, and it's also the assertiveness um, in the relationships. It's mutual respect and deeper connections, because feminine energy has always been expected to um, defer to the assertive energy. It's interesting how that works.
So, in personal development, that's another thing. So, for example, that's another thing that traditionally the label can be, okay, men should be focusing on building a strength, like physical strength, and women should focus on beauty. And that's everything that they have to be doing. It's like the traditionally you divide both. The redefinition is okay. Why it's mutually separated? Like it's like the idea is they have to be connected. You can prioritize physical fitness and personal aesthetics. It's like both are important for everyone. Understanding that strength and beauty are not mutually exclusive, but they are complementing each other, and that's something that is going to help you with everything in your life.
Absolutely. Oh, do you want to take the next one?
Okay, I am in the parenting side, so I am going to take it. So, for example, in parenting, traditional label, and I remember that comes even from my father. It's like, okay, the person that is supposed to be discipline, bring the discipline to the house, and is going to be punishing or anything to the kids, is the father, and the mothers are the ones that are taking care of the kids. So it's like that's normally was supposed to be. The redefinition here is like, okay, both parents share the role fluidly. Maybe there are some times that I have to be tender and nurturing because my wife is not here with my kids, and when I am not here, my wife is the one that is supposed to be. She can be setting boundaries and teaching resilience to the kids. So at the end, the good thing of doing this in the parenting and understanding this redefinition that we are talking is going to help the kids to have this opportunity to see like, okay, this is not gender based, it's something that I can do and I can develop everything. So the full spectrum of human uh, qualities can be really taken by your kids, and it's not like, okay, if I am the father, so I am supposed just to do this, so mom has to kill herself trying to do all the other stuff. No, we can mutually start to help each other in different things, and sometimes we have to be the guy that is putting the discipline, but other times we are supposed to be tender and nurturing, and it's okay. It doesn't matter what is the gender.
No, not at all. So let's move into social settings. Um, it and I remember this one well. It's like men should initiate the activities, and the women should follow the traditional way, and that's what I grew up with. And the redefinition, and I love how this is phrased: the friends of all genders collaboratively decide on activities, which implies that men and women should actually be friends. What a concept! Um, it's like learning to value each person's input and sharing the leadership equally, kind of thing. This makes for a richer social experience. Um, I could say a lot about bullies, and this is the way it ought to be, and I won't because we only have a few more minutes left.
No, that's another topic that we can be working because I believe there is a lot of need on that right now in the world today. So what we are talking really is how we can move beyond the labels. It's like, what is the label that you were teach that you started to believe? And that's another key thing here is, what is your belief about this? And we are trying to redefine that belief that you were born or maybe you were raised with by your parents or by your teachers or by your grandparents or by your caretakers. It doesn't matter. But at the end, they implanted on us, not in a wrong way because they didn't want to. At the end, maybe they learned like that, but they implanted some way of thinking and some way of being that doesn't mean that it's the best thing for you. It's like if you are just using one side because you are man and you are supposed and you are expected to blah blah blah, suddenly you are limiting yourself to really the full spectrum of possibilities and to really attract everything that you are supposed to attract. So that's why for us this is key. Move beyond the labels.
And yeah, it's one of those days. Whatever I was going to add to the conversation is gone now.
Yeah, there is a some no, your sound is a little bit delayed today, so but I don't know why. So, by moving beyond labels, we're not discarding the strength traditionally associated with masculine or feminine. We are expanding them. That's what we are doing here. It's not that we are saying, "Oh, it's bad if you think like this." What if you saw everything in the example that we were giving? It's like, okay, traditionally men will do this, in the redefining we'll do this and it's not exclusive one or the other, it's both at the same time, and you can start to expand everything that you have. You can recognize what is the good thing in everything in all the sides, and suddenly you realize that emotional intelligence is great. You realize that not only initiating but also following sometimes is important. So you can be the leader, but sometimes you can be the follower, and it's okay. We are not saying that you have to be the leader all the time. So that's in the redefinition. We can harness really our full potential, not only the thing that you are expected or that you created the belief that it's the only way to work or to survive in this world.
Every good leader is also a great follower. Yeah.
So let's move to the action steps. And you start with the first one, that it's what you
And
love to do.
this is right up my alley. It's mapping out the energies of the situation. It's like just take inventory. What are the activities or the traits that you associate with masculine and feminine energies, and how do you feel about those? Um, and just realistically notice what comes up, because remember, feelings can't kill you. If they could, I'd be dead this weekend. It was rough. So yeah. um,
So the second one, challenge norms. What we are saying is like at the end, how it works for us, our subconscious start to get everything like is true. That means that your beliefs are true for you. And what we are saying here is start to challenge them, start to think like, okay, I believe this. Is that right? Is that really right? Or is there is something like misguiding me or not allowing me to be my full potential? So start to do things that help you to engage. Sometimes that's why having a coach is very important, because that coach can help you challenge those beliefs that you have, that you believe that are true, or are also the thing that is stopping you to become who you are supposed to be.
yeah, just remember, it is okay to ask questions. Everything can be questioned. If you can't question it, it doesn't. Sometimes you're not confident with it. So, action step number 3: visualization. It's like visualize yourself being a complete being and encompassing all the different energies, and meditate on this image. I mean, there are dozens of meditations that you can download, look at on YouTube, whatever, and just work on seeing yourself as perfect, whole, and complete. And yes, I'm walking through that stage now, so try not to laugh too hard.
And also in this visualization, when you close your eyes, that's maybe the most important thing. Who do you want to become? What is blocking you to become that person? And it's like, okay, I want to become this person. And if you can start to imagine everything, what is exactly what you want, that's where the magic starts to happen. Is because you are going to see like, okay, let's start to imagine this person. How is this person working? Is connecting only with that one energy? Is connecting with both? What is he doing in that visualization? And suddenly you can start to get a lot of ideas behind. The fourth one is community engagement. Is find people that you can be talking about this, okay, that believe on this part of energies, and start to challenge those thinking behind, and that can help you a lot.
Absolutely. And the fourth one is advocacy. It's advocate for others to express their energies freely and offer support and encouragement. And it starts with you. And so if you're not being your own advocate in between your ears, it's going to be difficult to do that for others. So just be kind to yourself during this whole process of relearning what is what.
Yeah. So with this, we close this part. We are going to have uh, talking about fluidity, something very interesting. next week, emotional fluidity. So connect next week at the same time, and we are going to talk about this topic. Thank you, William, for today. Thank you, everyone that was listening today. We are really, as you can see, very passionate about this topic. It's helping us to really even help us ourselves, like with the things that we are going through in our lives, and also trying to help you with everything that you're going, unlocking the clarity in your life. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for all the news and programming. The Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all. See you next week.